So you've got eggs and you want to get these eggs hatched. We do get a lot of customers that call us or email us, and they want to know how are they going to hatch their eggs. Well, some people say, will my chickens hatch an egg? And the answer to that question is yes, but it depends on that particular chicken and the breed of that chicken. So the majority of the chickens that are out here today, your backyard egg layers, truly are not going to be a broody hen. And broody means they will sit and hatch an egg. Because of the genetics that the factories have instilled into the hens to lay eggs, they no longer want to sit and hatch eggs. So they've been genetically modified. That's called being broody. Okay, they don't want to be broody. Some breeds, like a Silkie or some of the Bantam breeds or even other breeds, do say, I want to sit here and hatch a batch of eggs and be a mama, but not all of them. So let's just say you have some fertile eggs and you want to hatch them. Well, what's the best thing to do? First of all, you make sure this is a family program you all can get on board with. It's a very easy thing to do. It's a very fun thing to do. You go out and you will find yourself what's called an incubator. And you could either make an incubator, which is pretty time consuming, or you can buy some units on the shelf. That typically an incubator can be as large as the incubators behind me and hatch several thousand eggs, or you would be able to get a small tabletop incubator about half the size of a microwave. And those can hold anywhere from 7 to about a dozen or maybe 18 eggs. There's larger models and there's smaller models, but generally speaking, you go find where you can get some hatching eggs. Where you would do that is you would call a local 4-H farm, or maybe a local pet supply store would have it, or even your local agricultural department in your town, or even some people on Craigslist would have fertile eggs. You want to make sure that the eggs are fertile. You could either do a test and make sure the eggs are fertile. You don't want them washed. You don't want them refrigerated. You don't want to drop them or bang them. You want to get fresh eggs, probably within about a week or so of them being laid. And again, you don't want to wash the eggs. You want the pointy side down. And you take the eggs and you bring them home. You test out your incubator by, first of all, you plug it up and you make sure you have the right temperature and the right humidity. And you maybe want to do what's called burning in your incubator for at least 24 or 48 hours. You don't want to take an incubator off the shelf, plug it up, and immediately add the eggs, because there could be a malfunction in the incubator, or maybe the settings aren't right. So you want to monitor the different settings for humidity and temperature for the first 24 to 48 hours. After the incubator stabilized, put it in a location where your dogs or cats can't get it and the kids can't knock it off the table. Then you take your fertilized eggs, they're pointy side down, and you put them in the incubator. Some incubators have what's called a turner, and the eggs have got to be turned so the little embryos in the eggs will grow, and the incubators have what's called forced air. So the air is circulating and the eggs are turning, and the temperature for most should be set at about 100 degrees, and the humidity should be at 55% for the first 18 days. On day 18, you want to stop the incubator for a few minutes, take out all of your eggs, and then you want to reset the incubator to 65% humidity, leaving the temperature the same, and you take out your egg turner, and then you lay the eggs down sideways in the incubator for about 2.5 days. And generally speaking, once that humidity goes back up, nothing will happen for 24 hours, and you'll be definitely tempted to look inside there, but you don't want to open the incubator. Then all of a sudden you're going to hear peeping and pipping and clucking and chirping. It gets real excited. You're going to want to go open it up, but don't do that, because once an egg starts to crack, what happens is if that humidity goes down, that baby chick can get shrink wrapped, because there's a lining on the inside of the egg that will get really dry and crack and squeeze that baby chick. So you just basically want to watch from a distance. The chicks will start peeping and cracking, and pretty soon, usually you'll have one chick come out, and then within a matter of, probably 6 to 10 hours, the others start to hatch. And that's how you do your hatching eggs. Now, not every egg will hatch. Not every fertilized egg will turn into a live, beautiful chicken. So a good life lesson to learn is that not everything is perfect and not everything is going to be wonderful. Sometimes you'll get an egg that will crack and the baby chick will try really hard to get out, and you will be almost uncontrollably want to open up that incubator and open that egg. And what happens is Mother Nature knows best. If that baby chick cannot get out of the egg and it's too weak to survive, what Mother Nature is telling you is that baby chick is imperfect and it probably would not live. If you do go in and open up that egg and take out the baby chick, you'll have a weakling baby chick that will still be beautiful and may be deformed, but you will be very tempted to want to nurse it to health, and almost all of the time, not always, but almost all of the time, they'll be very sickly and they won't make it. So the bottom line is, the ones that hatch, you want to leave them in there for about 48 hours. Don't open up the incubator. They do not need food and water for 48 hours. They will absorb the yolk sac. They'll peep and run around and they'll be just fine. At the end of 48 hours, if no more eggs have hatched, you can lift off the incubator, and then you want to take the baby chicks out and put them in the brooder. And we're going to look at next what is a brooder. And that's going to be part B of this program. So right now you're looking at hatching eggs. You want to come back to this show to go to part B so you can learn about how to raise the baby chicks once they get from the incubator into the brooder. But thank you for learning about how to hatch an egg. So please come back to the rest of our show to learn how to raise the chicks in the brooder. That's part B of this program. We thank you very much for being an important part of Blue Star Ranch. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you too are learning how to be an expert. Expert.